Here's my thrifting friends. Okay, well today is a rainy day. I'm here at Goodwill in Enfield, and yeah, sometimes on a rainy day you can have the store to yourself and find all the gems. But today's shopping list is, we're looking for garden stuff, sold out of all of that. Looking for glass, I haven't found that in a while, and maybe some spring linens, that would be fun, and some small tables like plant stands or something. So let's give it a go. Thrifting Angels, be with us and let's see what we can find. I think because I had spring on my mind, I got pulled into the plates because I was thinking about what tablescape I wanted to do, that kind of thing. So I think I just naturally gravitated into here, but this plate was so colorful, so pretty. So this drew me in. Again, thinking about Easter, setting my table. This was false graft. It's called Chateau. It's so pretty. Very pretty. I did find this online. I mean, it was a good bargain compared to what it cost new, but it's a fairly new pattern from false graft. And I'm a big false graft fan. I think they make really high quality, everyday dishes. This baker's lamp is a classic. Had to grab this to take a look, but unfortunately it just had so many condition issues with the metal part. Yeah, $11.99 is way too much for something with this kind of condition issues, and it wasn't that old either. The metal part didn't feel high quality, so yeah, what a shame. This was so cottagecore. Look at the scene on this teapot. Made in USA. Don't worry, I won't make that mistake again when I see the word China. But what a cute scene on this. Very cottagecore. This fire hearth and spinning wheel scene. Very, very, very cottagecore. A double set of baskets. I'm thinking, oh God, this is going to be like $6.99, $7.99, but they're perfect. Nope, they were $3.99. Sweet. All right, so I'm going to grab these because these feel very spring and they're great for organization and they're in new condition, so they're coming with me. So I love it when I find original artwork. This looks like a watercolor to me with these beautiful goldfinches. What a great price, $5.99. Nice little frame, like a little bamboo type style frame. But yeah, that's a really sweet spring picture. That's original art. Love this pillow. This is very traditional, very classic. I love that floral. You cannot go wrong with that. But these prices on pillows have gone way up. But look, today it was $5.99. Perfect. Usually they had $12.99 on these pillows. So hopefully somebody got the memo that we're not going to buy them when they're $12.99. All right, I'm drawn in by what's on top of this desk, but first let's look at this actual desk. What a beautiful piece with this marble top. Ooh, $59.99. That's a lot for this. But can you imagine it completely refinished, the bottom half in like a really beautiful, creamy, distressed finish? Can you imagine it? I always look in the drawers. I don't know why. I have this ultimate curiosity. I mean, I'm looking to see how easily they pull out, but I'm looking for stuff too. It's crazy. Oh, okay. Is this the receipt for this desk? That's sort of cool. No, it's not. It's a Verizon receipt for, it looks like the company that used to own this desk. And it looks like they bought some iPads. That's crazy that people leave this kind of stuff in the drawers. That's crazy. Any hoozle. It's a really nice desk. I really like it. If I was into refinishing furniture at this point in my life, I would consider it, but it would be hard to make any good money on that. What I'm really interested in is this shade. I think it might be either Laura Ashley or maybe the Shabby Chic brand there. Something really nice. I can tell that this shade is really, really, really nice. So I'm going to check it out and see what it might be. And yeah, let's take a look. Beautiful floral, perfect for spring. It's so pretty, so pretty. And this would be an amazing piece if I could. Yeah, there we go. It's Waverly. I knew it was something really good. I knew my eye was telling me this is really good stuff. So I'm going to find out if I can just buy the shade. And it turns out, yes, they let me just buy the shade. All right, this lamp is also amazing. By the way, yellow was the half off price. It's it's very, it's like a classic, modern classic. It's very structural, but what's giving it its like luxury feel is the linen shade that's in perfect condition, no stains, and the rubbed oil bronze base. That's what gives it its kind of luxe look. Wow, this stool, I did contemplate it. I thought this would be such a great little gardening piece. Plus it was half off, like something that I could use outside to sit on while I'm working in my garden beds. I mean, I considered it. I think I have a regret. I think I should have picked that up. I think that was a really useful thing. And I think I like put it back and I said, well, let me think about it. And then I literally forgot about it. Do you guys do that when you're in the thrift store? This chair is a very classic line piece, very French. I love the tapestry upholstery on it. I'm zooming in because I'm trying to see how much it was. I think it was $29.99, which was kind of high for this. Yeah, there it is, $29.99. So we're gonna leave that, but it is a beautiful piece if you do like antique looking pieces. So at $11.99, we're going to leave this, but I do love that summer is right around the corner and it was a very seasonal piece. All right, this frame really drew me in, got my attention. I'm like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. This must be really old. This must be really amazing. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, you know, it looks good. It looks kind of old and really amazing. I don't know. The iris isn't doing anything for me. It was really the frame. I was thinking about just what could I use the frame for because it seems so thick and so ornate. And then I turn it over and it's like, okay, it's $30 and it's not even old. It's from TJ Maxx. So I'm like, yeah, no, I'd like it to be legit. So we're going to leave that. Now this chair on the other hand is legit. This is a beautiful traditional piece. There was only one, which to me, it's like a perfect dining room chair. So if there had been 4 or 6, this would have been a great purchase for somebody if they wanted to refinish it. Okay, I don't know, what would that be? A pelican? The bird on this bag really drew me in. Look at that, Florida Keys handbag. These are actually collectible. I think these are from the 60s and 70s. They're not leather. That's why I left it. And at $14.99, they don't sell online for much more. So I did leave it. All right, because clearly I love blue and white and I will pay up for it. Yeah, I totally got this piece, no surprise, and I'm so thrilled whenever I find them. This was a hidden gem. This was so heavy when I picked it up, priced at only $3.99. It's from the Bombay company. I collect items from Bombay. It's definitely my style. And even more importantly, the quality. These items were made so well in the day. Very heavy piece with that mosaic glass. I am definitely adding this to my cart. All right, this teapot, it caught my eye. I knew it must be something. So I just said, okay, I'm going to check this out for who made it. It was $7.99, which seemed a little high. And so I'm like, I do love the blue and white, but okay, look, it's Johnson Brothers. All right, so it is a Johnson Brothers piece, but something about it seemed off. I did leave it. This big bowl was so nice. Price kind of high though, but the quality, yep, false graft. Every time that's the first time I've seen one that says copyright Mexico, but every time I spot something I think is really high quality, oftentimes it turns out to be false graft. These were unique and different. They looked super special, but when I looked them up online, they really weren't worth that much. So I did leave them, but they were so seasonal. The seashells, I did not recognize it. Do you guys recognize this? I hope I didn't make a mistake. They were $3.99 each. I don't know. I'd never heard of that name, that Paul Brasani or Bracani name. Never heard of it. I left it. All right, this caught my eye. Yeah, it was really beat up. I suspect this might be like an old McCoy piece. It's missing its lid. Had a lot of issues, but I just grabbed it because I could tell it was old. It was too bad it was so so beat up. It was really in bad condition. Yeah, that's crazy. All right, I'm looking for any hidden gems. I spotted this in the back. I'm like, what is this? All painted up. What could this be? Oh, it's one of those ducks. I love ducks. That's a very heritage Ralph Lauren look. $5.99. He's just a wooden one. He's seen better days, so I left him. All right, mission accomplished, you guys. I found a lot of cool stuff. Thank God it stopped raining a little bit because, wow, it was coming down hard. You could hear it just thundering on the roof in there. Kind of scary. All right, I found some really cool stuff. I can't wait to get home and show you. And we're gonna get cozy, make ourselves some tea, and take a look at all the cool stuff that I got. Well, we are back from our thrifting adventure. I've got a couple different collections to show you. I've got some really nice stuff. Hello, Miss Mina. Miss Mina says hello. So let's get into it. The first thing I wanted to show you was this beautiful pillow. I love the fabric on this and the pattern. It's really timeless, very heritage. I never get sick of these beautiful floral patterns. This one was shockingly $5.99 at this Goodwill. So somebody has come to their senses and they're marking these a lot more reasonable. But the other good thing I liked about it was it is down-filled, so you can do your little shaping in the middle and it'll hold that beautiful shape. So that's awesome. And then the next thing I wanted to show you that I picked up, I am selling the pillow. That's gonna go to the store. This as well. What a gorgeous lamp. Now I love the structure of this. It's still very traditional, but very modern traditional. And the oil rubbed bronze gives it a really luxurious look, in my opinion. I mean, I think this is like luxe on a budget, big time. This was $19.99, but I got it for $10. Yellow was the half off color. And the linen shade is in perfect condition, but what's important about this shade is that it's neutral and it really grounds such a structural piece. So I love it. I think that that's gonna sell right away, at least I hope. And then I picked up this beautiful bronze and mosaic glass tea light holder, but this is really heavy. The second I saw this, I'm like, I know this is quality. And then when I turned it over and I saw Bombay. So the Bombay company was a really popular furniture and accessory decor company in the late 80s, early 90s. And they made really high quality home accents. So this I thought was beautiful. I only paid $3.99 for this. I thought that was a great deal. Gonna bring that to the store. This really heavy brass candlestick. Now, while I was shopping, I did show you a set of candlesticks that were $7.99 each, and they were small and thin and not that substantial, but this one was heavy, heavy. Reed's beautiful heritage quality, and I grabbed this one for $5.99. So it's a really heavy, substantial piece. This is a staple in a traditional home look. Grab this beautiful porcelain piece. This I think I'm keeping for myself. I love that it's covered. It's kind of like a mini ginger jar. I love the beautiful pink flowers in it, and then it's got a bird like right there. I don't know if I'm gonna use this in the kitchen or maybe in my bedroom I might put this, but I really love it. And what did I pay for this one? This one was $5.99. And then the last piece is something that is kind of signature for me. You guys are gonna recognize this. Blue and white. This made me so happy when I found it. And because I was buying it for myself, I did pay $9.99, but well worth the cost. I love these blue and white faces. They are getting so expensive. Definitely a traditional heritage look. That's just my style, and I'm gonna put it right there. All right, so now I think it's time to bring spring inside. So It's spring. We're in spring, but it can be a little cold out there still, but we're not gonna hold back. We're gonna get spring in the house, and I thought these two prints were perfect for that. They're these old-fashioned pickup truck whitewashed prints with the beds all full of these beautiful flowers. Oh my goodness, this reminds me of this farm stand that John and I stop at when we visit his parents in Farmington, Connecticut. I think it's called like Two Sisters, something like that, but it's this really cool farm stand, and they have an old truck like this parked out front all the time, and they decorate it really similar. They fill up the whole bed full of flowers, but I figured somebody would really love to pick these up for a farmhouse look, and I paid $1.99 each one. What a great bargain. These are gonna look great in the store. And then there was another one that I think kind of went with them. It was just this little tiny one. This was $1.99. This one's still new in its plastic wrapping, and I just thought it was a nice little touch. This would go perfect in somebody's bookcase or just in that little spot that you need a little floral oomph to signal spring is here. I found this gorgeous, this is a Waverly. You see the tag right there? What a beautiful lampshade. This is gorgeous. I love this lampshade, this Waverly lampshade. These lampshades are not cheap, even like when you find them online. I'll put whatever I find here, but they really can get expensive, most likely probably for shipping, but even when you find these like, you know, in antique malls and vintage malls, yeah, people are discovering that a lampshade can really change up your space really quickly, and I think that floral is just perfect. And to go with that, I think this planter is perfect. Very Laura Ashley, very Waverly. This was $3.99, and I thought this was perfect for spring for a little plant. And I found another one that I really love too, with a flower and this butterfly. And then I found this greenery. This was only $1. So I grabbed this because I love to display these items in my store with greenery, but this will be for sale too. But I love to just show how these pots, how beautiful they look. Look at daffodils. It's so spring. I love it. All right, this goodie bag is like spring in a bag. It was $3.99, but half off. Yellow was the half off color. And look, it's got the little mini like house plant tools. It's got a little set of gloves, and then it's got some like plant identification tags, and they're like a heart shape. I really love this. I want to keep this. You know me, you've seen a lot of my videos if you follow me. I love houseplants. I have a big collection. I've featured them many times, you know, repotting. Just my last video was all about repotting some plants. So I don't know, should I keep this? I think I want it, but do I need it? No. John has so many tools and so many supplies because he's like our official green thumb, but I think it's so cute. Look at the wooden handles and everything. I don't want to bust the bag open until I decide, because if I sell it, I want to keep it, you know, all bagged up. But what do you guys think? Should I keep this or should I sell this? Make me want to keep it. All right, then these last few things are my spring inside little trinkets that I thought were so cute. This one was going to be $2. It was half off the $3.99, and I just love the seashell, but it looked gardeny too. So it's like springtime seashore. Oh God, I love that thought. It's a little soap dish, but you know, you could put your rings or jewelry on it. I just love that old-fashioned vintage look of it with the seashells and the flowers. Oh, love it. And then this really cool piece of pottery. It's in the shape of a fern, but it's a bowl, and the person signed it on the back. I love finding organic pottery like this. I love it. That is really sweet. And then this last piece, I really love this. I would love to have a whole collection of this leaf stuff. And this, like, I'm not quite sure how I'm definitely keeping it. I paid, it was literally $5.99. And it's got this back stamp on it. I think it says made in Italy. Yeah, that's really pretty. I mean, I'm sure it's not super vintage, but it's so pretty. It reminds me of that vintage cabbageware, and that is so nostalgic. I don't know how I'm gonna use this yet, but I think I'm getting inspired. I think I might use this on my spring table. So these next few things, there's something about them that just really brought me back. So they made me think of my grandmother on my father's side, and she was a Polish lady. Her name was Stella. And I don't know, like I really associate vintage Easter with celebrating on the Polish side of my family. Has a lot of traditions on that side. And even though my grandparents both passed away when I was really young, like 10 or younger, I do remember them vividly. We saw them all the time. My grandparents lived in the same town as we did growing up, and my parents brought us there like weekly, multiple times a week. So I definitely do remember them. So I remember my grandmother, like at Easter time, amongst all food that was made and all that kind of stuff, she loved to decorate, I think with like bunnies, a lot of these vintage bunnies and a lot of Easter lilies. And so I saw a couple of these bunnies and I got this idea to sort of recreate her table. And her table actually looks a lot like mine size-wise, because they had a really big, I want to say like an indoor style picnic table. It was a really big, long rectangular table with pull-out benches, you know, not chairs, but benches. So multiple people would just, you know, crowd in and that kind of thing. But anyway, I remember a lot of bunnies, but so this was the first one I picked up. This is actually like a separate top and bottom dish. And none of these are, I think, vintage, but they look vintage, if you get my meaning. So I just thought this was really sweet with this little bunny on a cabbage nest, if you will. Very sweet. And then these two bunnies, this one's just got a little, you know, he's just carrying a little thing. Maybe you could put an egg in there. That would be sweet. Now, mind you, I also do have, what would be great for this is I have the hand-painted Polish eggs too. My husband gave me a bunch of those eggs when we first got married, like, oh God, 15, 20 years ago. And he did the cutest thing. He hid them around the house and we did an egg hunt, and they were all these Polish Ukrainian eggs. Oh my God, I have them to this day, and we're gonna decorate the table with those two. So one of those Ukrainian eggs would look super sweet in this, and especially this one. I seem to remember her having like all these bunnies with the pink eyes, because I remember thinking about why are their eyes pink, being a little girl. This one really makes me think of her. So in the context of doing that, I hunted down, I tried to find a picture of her. I don't know why. It just came into my mind, like, let me find a picture of her to really inspire me and this and that. I have a picture of her in my store, actually. I have both my grandmothers in my store. I'll get into that at some time, but maybe if you've watched my past videos, I think I might have shown them before. But anyway, in the context of me looking for a picture of her to further inspire me, I had made this amazing discovery, and I will share that with you at the end of this video. It was quite amazing for me to discover this about my grandparents, and yeah, stay tuned. I'll show you that when I reveal what my table looks like. In the meantime, let's get started and at least put down all the foundational pieces of my table and put it together. So I want to show you a couple other vintage pieces that I'm using too. I've had this egg for a while. I picked it up, I think for $1.99. Yeah, $1.99. I think this one was at a Goodwill a while ago, and then I picked up this uranium glass. I guess this would be like a sugar bowl. It probably is supposed to have a cover too. I hauled this in a video, I don't know how many videos ago, probably 3 months ago, but I was like, uranium glass, just look for the thumbnail. It was in the thumbnail. I was so thrilled to find it. So now I'm gonna put these two things together for my Easter table. And then the last group of stuff, it just really made me think, okay, spring evenings on the patio, let's do it. I love it. These baskets were together. I love this. And when I saw these, I was thinking, oh, they're gonna be like $7.99, $8.99. No, they weren't. They were $3.99. That's awesome. So I think I found these online, and these are pretty expensive. I'll put here whatever I found, but I think that these are great for spring, summer on your patio. I wouldn't put like a flower in them because I wouldn't want to water them and ruin them. I think I would just use them as like accents. I think if you have like a covered patio, these would look great on like end tables with, you know, just stuff that you need outside, like maybe suntan lotion or bug spray, something like that. These would look so nice on like end tables that you might have with your patio furniture. I don't know, that's the idea that I got for these, so that's why I think they're a great patio find. And then this right here is awesome. This was $4.99. I love it. So I looked at this and I immediately thought, for the patio, again, I'm thinking like a covered patio. A lot of people have like those big, you know, structures with the roofs on them outside as like a gazebo, I think you might call it. We have like a sunsetter. Ours is covered, but we do draw it in because it's a sunsetter that's on the back of the house here. But anyway, I thought this would be awesome to put like little pieces of firewood in next to your chimenea, or if you have like a little pit, like a burn pit. Not obviously, you know, if you have the kind that runs on the fuel, you know, that's not going to work. You could put other things in here. You could put bath towels. If you have like us, we have a hot tub. This would be amazing for the hot tub towels right by the hot tub. So lots of uses for this on the patio. I think it's really pretty. And then I found these two lanterns. I think I love how they would, I imagine them just really setting the mood with a candle light in there, LED or natural tea light. I love tea lights because they burn out after a few hours, so I don't feel like they're unsafe, or you could use an LED light, but wouldn't these just set the mood inside a covered patio? I can totally feel it and see it. All right, and then the last item I picked up in this, a bunch of stuff that just made me think of springtime patio entertaining, even if you're just entertaining yourself, was this gorgeous charcuterie board. Look at this. It was $19.99. It's still new, but it was half off. Yellow was the half off color. I got this for $10. $10. Now this would be great to give as a gift because it is a new with the you know, packaging still on it, but we're gonna break this packaging off, and John and I are gonna create a beautiful charcuterie board for ourselves. We decided as soon as John saw this, he loves charcuterie, he's the cook, he was like, oh yes, we're gonna do this. And then we also decided to do a little wine shopping because, you know, wine goes best with charcuterie. So we thought you might enjoy a little wine shopping with us before we put this together. So let's go do that. Hi, you guys. All right, so we are here at this store called Table and Vine. It's a high-end liquor / everything you need for a charcuterie board store because, as you guys saw, I found this beautiful charcuterie board. We're going to fill it up with yummy things today. So we're also going to do a little wine shopping with John. He knows a thing or two. He used to work in a liquor store, right? Yes. That's how you learned about all the finer things in life when it comes to booze. So, all right, so let's go wine shopping and shopping for stuff for our board. All right, so what's the mood for today's charcuterie board? Do we have a mood?
Well, you consider the flavor profile of a charcuterie board.
Okay.
The thing that I associate it with would be like a sherbet.
The sherbet, you mean the cheese?
Yeah, the soft goat cheese.
Yep.
If you look at a wine spectrum,
yeah,
of like least flavor to oaky.
Okay.
You want halfway.
Halfway. All right.
So it could be very lightly oaked.
Okay.
But you want it to be a pronounced fruit wine.
So you're going to show us a few examples of that as we're shopping. Okay, let's do it.
I'm looking for...
They're having a sale, by the way, you guys. We will be taking advantage of that. We're going to get a mixed case today, I'm pretty sure.
I'm looking for their Italian whites.
Italian whites.
I'm looking for a Vermentino.
We're in the right aisle. Italian whites.
So yeah, so this is what we're looking for.
There we go, Vermentino.
And then for these, you're going to see fine herbs, you know,
That sounds very
fruitiness.
charcuterie board. All right, did you find something else?
We're going to try this one.
We're gonna try. Okay, why?
You just want, like, it's a nice dry wine with a generous fruitiness.
Pretty.
Here we can afford.
A Sancerre? Why would you wish that?
They're delicious.
Well, we can't afford it. Didn't we just get a tax refund or something? Why don't we treat ourselves to just like one bottle? What do you mean we can't afford it? It's 20% off. I justify it. Why not, babe? I mean, God, you're here for such a short time on earth. We don't do this every day. We don't buy ourselves a lovely, bottle of wine maybe once a year. Let this be the once. I don't know. I'm trying to sell them on it, you guys. See, I love splurging on something that you just know is going to be beautiful. Why not? So what about the Sancerre? Let's look. Okay. Enlivens our nose. Enlivens our spirit. That alone sounds like it's worth the price. This is wine that reconnects up with the earth, the vine, all-empowering sun. Oh my God. As Sancerre, I feel the wine unites the power of the earth with the power of the sky in the most profound way. I'm sold. I don't know why. To me, $21 or $29 with a 20% off, I would be justifying all kinds of like, I don't know, you guys, the blue and white China lamps I just bought. I paid $25 for those in Goodwill.
So what's funny is, if you look at like a regular wine,
yeah,
it'll always say, like I'll have like a saying on it, or it'll be like, oh, have this with grilled meats or fruits or whatever.
Yeah, it has a suggestion. You mean a serving suggestion? Yeah.
Sancerre?
Yes.
Yeah, we made it. Don't drink it when you're pregnant.
So in other words,
they don't have to try and push this.
I don't have to tell you. You drink this, and it is just going to enliven your spirit, and the food is just secondary. And pick anything you want. All right, we're getting one of these, you guys. It'll be a surprise which one John ends up picking out. So we were just talking about the wine labels and how like I was attracted to certain wine labels, and John was saying how they spend probably billions every year designing wine labels. I love the blue on this one. Right now he's looking in French whites. I'm not quite sure what for. Look at this elegant one. I love how elegant this is. Now, mind you, I don't know a darn thing about what's in the bottle. I'm just looking at the labels, and I'm sure a lot of people do that. This one's beautiful too. Look at this. I love this. I literally would buy the wine for the label to match my table setting. This label has always made me laugh. This fat bastard label, just because sometimes I like to call Malcolm a little fat bastard. He's my boy dog. He's very camera shy. You guys are all familiar with Mina, our smarty pants girly girl. This Mr. Malcolm can be a little fat bastard. He loves his food. He visibly gets emotionally distraught when he's hungry. I can tell. We got him as a rescue. He must have spent some time being extremely hungry, because he literally gets the sad face, and he's a basset hound, but we can tell the difference. Okay, anyway, back to the wine. Yes,
well,
babe.
Nothing special.
No,
This is just
okay.
my favorite one there.
Favorite for what? Let's see. What is it? It's
The Gewürztraminer.
Oh, good. Yeah, you've mentioned it on the channel before. And a couple of you commented that you went out and tried it and you really liked it. And that makes us so happy.
So these are two French wines that a lot of people, it's not like widely pushed on Americans, but a Côtes du Rhône, if you can find them. A place this big has 4.
Yeah, Côtes du Rhône
to choose from, and a Vouvray.
Vouvray. All right, so Vouvray I'm more familiar with. I know that's kind of sweet, but not too sweet, right?
Right.
And we used to get this. There used to be this amazing restaurant near us. It's since closed, and unfortunately and tragically, the owner has passed away. But it was a Louisiana. It was called the Big Mamu, and you could bring your own wine, and we would always pick up a Vouvray. And I remember the owner coming over to find out what we were drinking. Remember that? Mm-hmm. He came over to find out what we were drinking with his food. I don't know why he was interested in, because I don't know. I think he didn't recognize the bottle because they would actually open it for you and pour it, and he wanted to know more about it. And John ended up having this conversation about Vouvray with him.
Yeah, he sat down and had a glass with us.
Yeah, he sat down and he had a glass with us. Yeah, it was Chef Wayne from the Big Man Move. For anybody that's local to us, otherwise it would just be a fun little piece of trivia.
We're gonna have him from the homeland,
Germany, right?
Well,
am I in the right homeland?
Could be. It's Alsace.
Austria. Oh,
it's Alsace, so it's the overlap of France and Germany.
Oh, France and Germany.
So it could be
okay.
technically from either
Either
country.
one. See, like,
And these are more.
okay, but we're on sale.
Right.
We're buying on a sale. This isn't girl math anymore. It's wine math. So John's holding a label that's super appealing to me.
Because you can win a trip to Portugal.
What? What do you mean? Are you serious?
Yeah, win a trip to Portugal.
Oh, for God's sakes. I'm like, oh, it's blue and white. I love the blue and white. See, this is what I was telling you. I would buy something to go with a table setting, all my blue and white china, and you're telling me we can scan this QR code and try to go to Portugal? I'm sold. It's a done deal.
Try this one.
You're going to try this one?
Yes.
Right here. Why is that?
Because it's the fanciest one I've ever seen.
Perfect. See, I love reasons like that. Justified, 100%. Put it in the cart, as they all say in the thrifting channels. Put it in the cart. Put it in the cart.
Hey, they're putting their name on it, bright and bold, so they think it's good.
All right. All right. John's narrowed in our last two selections. What's that?
The Mer Soleil Chardonnay.
Okay.
And it might be just me, but I like buying Chardonnays by where they're grown.
Okay.
So this one is from the Santa Lucia Highlands. This one, just as it says, is from the Russian River Valley, California.
California. So these are California USA wines. That's one of our dream trips, to do a wine.
Well, I want to go to Willamette Valley.
Yeah, that's,
I've always wanted to go.
and that's in Washington. No.
Yeah, Washington.
Washington State. Yeah, you've mentioned that. Yeah, that's one of our dream trips. We're probably going to do that when we're both retired at some point. Yeah, our first trip as a retired couple, hopefully. All right, let's go check out the food now for this board. All right, so we're going to be making the cocktail bread for the board ourselves. We're not going to purchase, it's like a little rye bread. Yeah, the little cocktail rise. We're going to actually make that, but the recipe calls for beer. So I think, John, our final pick is going to just be beer. All right, so what are you grabbing?
For rye bread, I would like reasonably dark lager.
There you go. That's what we're going to add to it. Now, how much do you have to add to it?
A cup.
smacking as we go. Okay, I just got a meter.
Fresh, hot, and crumbly.
Yeah. So I really like pickles with my cold meats. So here's a jar that we did this past summer. Perfect for a charcuterie. But we're not able to open this. We're having a little trouble. So it goes to show we definitely know how to can. These are sealed. So we're going to, before we actually ruin the ring, even though the rings aren't that expensive. Yeah, that's sealed hard, baby. Oh, come on. I don't want you to get hurt. Yeah, you're a big guy if you can't do it. Then we just start hitting the ring to get it unsealed. There's no way around it. You got to smack the sides of it. All right, so here we go. All right. Hate doing it because can't use the ring again usually. Okay, now try it.
Try not to break the jar while you're
I know. See, comes right off then, but now the ring is useless. Bye, ring. All right, if you need...
And you dented.
Oh, yeah.
That, so
yeah, well, the
now
lids
too.
aren't good to use. You know, you shouldn't... The official word is... Oh, there's a towel right there, baby. The official word is that you're not supposed to reuse these things anyway right here. This is really the only part that's reusable. But that's okay. I mean, a lot of times people do use them again. We're not judging. Ooh. So this was my garden pickling from last year. So I'm going to put some of that on my plate. There we go. That's a garlic right there. See that? Bye, garlic. I'm pretty sure I made these sweet. But they could be
Anything.
they could be anything. All right, that little sucker. Can you grab that for me?
No. There's a fork right there.
But I'm holding on to the spoon. Okay. All right. All right. There we go. I'm going to let go. Okay, we'll do it.
No.
No?
Point.
All right. There we go. All right. Perfect. All right. Our charcuterie board is done. I'm just going to show you this behind me. I'll show you a better close-up, but just wanted to... John wanted to talk about the wine that we're going to have. So what are we having? Since you went wine shopping with us today.
Well, it wasn't really just about this particular wine, but it does apply to it. For a wine like this, if you're when you spend the money on a bottle of wine, you're part of the money you spend is on the aroma. And if you just put this guy in the fridge when we got home, you wouldn't get it. So that's why they want you to serve wine chilled at like 50 degrees. Put it in your refrigerator for like 10 minutes.
Okay.
It matters.
So you're talking like don't really like get it too cold is what you're saying.
If you get it to proper refrigerator temperature,
you won't get that right because it's going to be cold. It's going to be about 33 degrees, 35 degrees. All right, let me flip you around and we'll open it up. Nice. All right, well, here's a close-up of everything that we did. We made this gorgeous cocktail bread, this rye bread. And let's do a nice pan down of all that's the sherv cheese, grapes, apples. I think that's a turkey.
Yep.
What else am I looking at here? Salami. No, what's this?
Yeah, salami and sopressata.
And then this is provolone, or?
Oh, yes.
That's provolone, and then we've got dates.
Yep.
And cheddar, I guess?
Gouda.
Gouda. Even better. More apples, grapes.
Olive medley.
Olive medley. You saw we opened up our pickles. Let's pour the wine.